Okay, check this out. Chris Van Vliet has returned, and well, you've clicked on the video. You didn't do this by accident. Mandy Rose has also returned to the channel. She's just an amazing WWE success story when you really think about it. Also in her personal life, big congratulations to her and Tino Sabbatelli, aka Sabby, that's his real name, on their engagement. So they're joining the club, the engaged club, like me and my fiance Rachel. So we're gonna be spending the holidays in her home state of New Jersey, and I just love the peace of mind that we get when we're traveling, that NordVPN has us covered so that hackers aren't in there stealing our data, maybe you pronounce it data. I'm more of a data guy, I think. They're not stealing our information. But the best part, for sure, is being able to change your virtual location with just one click so you can access content from 59 countries. And I've got a lot of messages about this, and a lot of you guys have hit me up about this. Yes, you can still access the WWE network. You just log into a location that still has it, and boom, you're in. You don't have to watch it on Peacock anymore. It's super fast, super easy. You can do it on either your phone or your computer, and NordVPN is hooking you up big time. You can get your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/CVV, and yeah, they're hooking you up with that price there on the screen right now, and also 4 months for free. It's a limited time deal, so jump on it while it's happening at nordvpn.com/CVV. Now please welcome the lovely Mandy Rose. Mandy, it's so good to see you again. Thanks for hopping on with us.
Yes, thanks for having me. So good to see you.
Look at all these covers behind you. This is incredible.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just a few.
I had Sabby on the show. Your fiance. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Look at the size of this thing.
I know, he did really good.
Wow.
And it's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, that is impressive. So I had him on before you guys were engaged a few months ago. And he has you guys split the office up, right?
Yes, we split it up. He has the nice big wall side with all of his jerseys. He claims that because they're bigger, he had to put them on that wall. But I got this corner over here, and I got the corner of the desk. So when he does his interviews, he's on that side, and then I move on this corner.
You guys are both so obscenely fit. And I'm actually curious, between the two of you, who is more objectively fitter? Like who's in better shape, do you think, objectively?
Oh, objectively? I would have to go with him. I don't know. He's like a freak. Like I have good genetics and all. Sorry about my dog.
Oh, what's your dog's name?
Trey. That's the big one. The little one's Trey. Underneath me. They've been working on my house a little bit. So, but what was I saying about you're
saying like, so he's like just a freak.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, I guess I have okay genetic. Just, they're all right.
Yeah. Like he's a genetic freak. I have good genetics for sure. But like people think he eats like, chicken and rice every day. And he does not eat chicken and rice. Like he's a big snacker, loves his potato chips and Cold Stone. We have Cold Stone once a week, which I just told someone this the other day, and they're like, "You two have Cold Stone every week?" I said, "Yes, every week, Sundays."
That's the secret. I guess that's the secret to having abs.
Well, it's balance, We're like good 80%, I would say, and then like 20%. We got to live a little,
I'm completely with you, and I think that people think it's like all or nothing. And like I like to eat pretty clean, but I also love pizza.
Right? Who doesn't? Like. You got to have balance.
I don't know. When people see Mandy Rose on NXT, I think they look at you and go, there's no way that she's ever eaten pizza in her life. I
know. I bet you people do probably think that. But I mean, I used to be really, really strict when I was competing. But since then in wrestling, and it's definitely more of a consistent, balanced diet. But I like to have my cheat days, and I like to splurge, and I snack and all that. So it's, my workouts have changed a little bit. I do a little bit more cardio, which might help, obviously. But yeah, I grew up in a, Italian home with my dad owns delis. So like, we just grew up around really good food. I can't stop now.
So like, what's the go-to cheat meal for you?
Oh, my go-to is usually like a good good pasta or raviolis or pizza, and ice cream. I love ice cream.
When you talk about balance, obviously it exists in all aspects of your life, I'm sure, with fitness and with your diet, but what does your time balance look like? Like, obviously WWE takes a ton of time. That's your main focus, but you've got so many other things going on as well.
Yeah. It's always kind of a struggle because our schedules are kind of crazy. However, since, over the last year being in NXT, I've had a really good schedule, and I love my schedule. I don't have to fly that much. Obviously, I drive to Orlando, and so I have way more time on my hands than I ever did, and I feel like I'm trying to make the most of it. I felt like it was pretty good timing because we had just bought our house, and there's so many different little projects we're getting ourselves into. But I think it's just really kind of not making yourself get like too crazy and overload. You know what I mean? Like I really try to like base my schedule, after Tuesday, Wednesday on. It's like, okay, now it's my time to like get stuff done, whether it's around the house, workouts, interviews and whatnot. But I try to just like stay focused for TV. Like Monday and Tuesday are like my get ready for TV days, and then like once that's done, I can do other things that I have to do in life. So I think it's just a balance.
I've seen like snippets of your house between your Instagram and Sabby's. Looks incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. We
like
love
whenever
it.
he
We're
posts
making
things
it.
in the backyard of like the cold plunge, I'm like, geez, like, you've done this correctly.
Yeah, we have like a pretty good recovery center going on here. I have to say, we have between the cold tub, hot tub, we built our gym in the garage, we have the sauna. So, I mean, we might as well have it all right here, right? I mean, we use it enough.
I mean, I think that you guys feels like you're doing it right.
Yeah.
So what's being renovated right now then?
So we're working on our master bathroom. Yeah, we have his cousin actually is really good. He's a GC, and he's up in Connecticut, but he's been here for like a good month or so. So he's doing a lot of work by himself, but it'll be worth it. It's just we're basically redoing the whole thing because there was so many things that were like redone in the house, but then like little things like the bathrooms weren't. So we were gonna wait, but then we were like, you know what, might as well do it now.
So my fiance and I just bought a house, and same thing. Like they had redone.
Congrats.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're in Orange County.
Oh, I
So
love it.
they had done some things, but we're like, we want to make this our house. So
Exactly. You have to put your touch on it.
yes. And now it feels like
Yeah.
home. Like the entire house was under construction for like 2.5 months. So up until like last week. And
Yeah.
so I can empathize with the dog barking all the time.
Yes. And the dust, like that's the only thing. It's a lot when because you feel like you're cleaning and then you're like constantly cleaning because the dust and stuff. So it's a lot, but what are you going to do?
People were like, so are you going to live there during the renovations? I'm like, what's the other
Where am
option?
I going to go? Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm going to live in my house while it's being renovated.
Right. Yeah. It's a lot, but it'll be worth it.
Well, congrats on like everything that's going on in your life.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I
you
mean,
so
you're
much.
also basically just running NXT now.
Yeah. Doing a little bit here and there.
But
Yeah,
like,
no, it's been a lot of fun.
like you've now held the NXT Women's Championship for over a year. Like
Yeah. I think it's like
amazing.
386 days or something. Thank you.
Not that
No,
anybody's counting,
not that anyone's
right?
counting.
When
I
you
only know
first
that because of the stuff I get tagged in.
when you first won the championship, what was the original plan? How long did you think you'd be holding it for?
I didn't know exactly when I first won, but then when I, started kind of getting in the groove and really like with this whole character change and stuff, I was like, I think this is going to be a good run and a long run because I think we're going to really make it mean something. I think, it's a good story. Me coming back here and kind of even like helping some of the younger girls, even the whole like transition of NXT, of NXT 2.0 and like, there's so many young people and young, great talent that is just like up and coming. So I feel like it made the most sense. And now, I mean, over a year now, I didn't know it'd be this long, but hey, I ain't complaining.
Well, I mean, if you're a year in, what's another year or two?
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I love having a championship. Who wouldn't, right? So
Looks good around your waist.
thank you.
What's going on here with this? It looks like Bella's cosplay.
Oh gosh, I know. Can't even wear my own merch hat, and it's a big thing. But no, I definitely when I had the whole outfit on backstage, obviously, we were all saying it. Then I was like, okay, I was like, do I look like way too much like Nikki right now? Like I'm definitely gonna get ripped on the internet. But everyone was like, yeah, but who cares? Like you're, you know, like owning to her legacy, right? So I was like, yeah, why not? So yeah, and that's what happened. We knew the internet was gonna go there.
I mean, this feels like it could be a really great match one day.
Right? That's what I said, and then afterwards, I mean, I don't know, I'm just saying, she did say she wants one more match, so I don't know.
I mean, that definitely feels like it could be a really good match.
Right? And I feel like also, like, even my promo the other night, like, our you know, I wanna say her legacy and also just, like, everything I've done, like, we have a little bit of similar backgrounds in a sense because she's obviously has paved the way for us, definitely during like the Divas time and the women's revolution and all that. So it's like I feel like there's some kind of similarity with the both of us because she was always one to be like she wants to have people respect her more, and she did gain that respect over the years. But in the beginning, it wasn't maybe so much like that. So I
Yeah.
feel like there is a little a little story there.
Yeah, that definitely feels like your path. Like you've been doing this for a long time. And now, over the last year, you're finally getting your shine. You're finally getting a chance to really show what you can do. So I wonder if in that, did you ever feel like you weren't going to get this opportunity to be the champion?
I feel like it was a timing thing. I feel like it was gonna happen, but yeah, I couldn't picture it this way. If I couldn't have pictured it if I wanted to, but it's like I knew I had this vision when I first went to NXT, and I knew that I wanted to rebrand myself. I knew that I wanted to get more opportunity, and I wasn't really that fond of like what I was doing at the moment, and I just didn't think that I was showing my true potential. So I knew there needed to be something, and sometimes you just need to you need to change a little bit. You need to evolve a little bit or just have a clean slate or a fresh coat of paint. And like, I felt like I needed that. So um, I think it all worked out for the best. Of course, in the moment, I was a little bit like taken back, but then I know, like looking back, I'm so happy that I went in with such a positive mindset because Sabby says this a lot too. My fiance, he's just very like proud of me in the aspect of like, because he's been through a lot, but of like having that positive mindset and kind of like knowing that this could be something good. Whereas instead of most people might take that as like a demotion or just like, oh, you're going back to NXT. Like, oh, like most people would have that attitude of like, or why, and all these questions. And in our business, it's like you don't really get a lot of answers most of the time. Like if you do your job and you do it well, it's gonna eventually pay off. And I think that goes a long way. So I'm just really happy I went in with such a positive mindset and I just had this vision. And I knew if I had the right people in my corner and the right people to back me up, that it would be successful. And, I'm really grateful for that.
Is there also an aspect of it where you're like, boy, I see how easily it could be taken away from me? Like Sabby was there, and then, a second later, he's not.
Yep.
So are you just like, grateful I still have a spot?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so grateful. And I feel like, everyone's different. Sometimes it doesn't matter how much talent you have. Obviously, we've seen that. And it's just some things just don't work out or some things just weren't meant to be. So I am really grateful for that. But deep down, I knew that I always knew I had this. I always knew I could always get better at it, right? Like everyone, you get better with time, but you need the opportunity, right? So it's like you can't really show anything if you don't have that opportunity. And if you're just kind of known for being the blonde bombshell or the golden goddess and eye candy or whatever it is, my whole vision of ever since I started in WWE was always, even in NXT back in the day, was like, yeah, I know I look like this and I know it could be intimidating or also like, oh, she's just here for the fame and whatnot, all the, stigmas that I've gotten. But I knew that like my biggest thing was to prove myself in the ring. I knew it was like a Trish Stratus story, like why can't you be hot and still like be able to wrestle, right? Like it's been done before. Like, why do I get such like heat, or why do I get so much backlash for looking like this? But I knew in the back of my head that like it takes time, respect, you have to kind of gain your respect. You have to put your time in. So I just knew over time eventually it would turn.
So did you have a moment where you were like, I really want to work on this or that? And you going to NXT allowed you more time in the ring or more time in the performance center?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've seen Raw and SmackDown, obviously. Sometimes you don't get, that much of time in matches. Sometimes they're just, if you're not in a prominent storyline, you're not even on TV, it's not like you lose it, but if you don't have those reps, and I didn't stay in NXT too long when I was first there. Some people do 3, 4, 5 years. I did like 2 years with no wrestling background before that. So, do I wouldn't say I was the greatest wrestler ever, but at the end of the day, like it takes time and reps. So I knew, excuse me, when I went to NXT that I knew by getting those reps and by getting to be able to work with so many different women of like all different backgrounds and the time to be in the ring with them really was going to make a difference. And it did.
And I know a lot of people in NXT talk about how great Shawn Michaels is, like that he's
Yeah.
there and he's in the performance center. How much has that helped you?
A lot. Yeah. Shawn Michaels is amazing and he's great to work with. He has been nothing but amazing towards me and, Toxic Attraction. And, we all kind of, it was a collaboration of Toxic Attraction. And, when I first got there, it was like, oh, maybe you'll team with these girls. They're just about ready to be on TV. But, we don't really know exactly. And it was Triple H that said this before he had, taken a leave, but he had said too, like, we're not going to pigeonhole you either, like this might be something good, but we'll see. Like, and that's how we work, nothing's ever really set in stone. Everything changes by the day. But yeah, so we kind of all collaborated and I think Sean and, our writer, Johnny Russo and Coach Bloom and like the people that were really behind Toxic Attraction and really like, had strong belief in making us successful. It worked because when you have the right people behind you and you have those people that believe in you, they're going to stand up for you and they're going to hopefully put you in the right spotlight.
So like, what was the genesis for this new character that we're seeing? Because you're crushing it. But I imagine, it takes, hello.
Sorry. Yeah. Hello. Came out of nowhere.
So what's the genesis? What's the germ of the idea for this?
Wait, can you repeat that again? Sorry, because the dog.
What's like the genesis for the new character that you're absolutely crushing now?
Oh, thank you. I would just say it's still me. I'm still like, I didn't go from like I didn't change that much. It's still me. I think it's more just like adding a little edge to Mandy Rose. I think it's more about yeah, I can still look good and, beat bitches up, but also like I have this edge to me. And I think the whole idea was that as well with Gigi and JC when we all teamed up, like I think everyone kind of thought I was going to make them be more like Mandy, but instead we've all taken a little bit from each other, right? So I feel like I have learned from them a lot. Sorry.
Dog just wants to be part of the interview.
I know. It's like I can never do an interview without my dogs barking. It's so embarrassing. Stop it. I think it's recorded now. So I feel like I got a little bit of them. They got a little bit of me. It was a collaboration of all of us, and we help each other. They both had wrestling experience prior to WWE, and I kind of helped them with like developing their characters and really kind of being true to themselves, and also like teaching them things that like you don't get taught in NXT. And I take a lot of pride in that with all the girls and the guys. Like I can give them little ideas and creative, like just creative ways to like be able to show and get yourself out there without obviously like just trying to prove that I can wrestle or I can do this, like, and just things that they're not taught. Like when they get to the main roster, you're not taught certain things, and I can go back and show them that these are the things that are going to be really helpful for you and are going to be really beneficial for you.
Can you give us an example of something like that?
Yeah, I mean, like even just, you know, whether it's like helping the girls with, um, you know, hotels or cars, like rentals. Like we do a lot of that stuff on our own. Like they don't teach you that in NXT. Like they don't like,
Well, it's
get
covered
a
in
good credit.
NXT, right?
Right. Yeah. And you don't really travel that much in NXT. So it's like get a good credit card where you can put your hotels on there for expenses and for stuff, for write-offs, and whether it's ideas for promos, whether it's how you present yourself, clothing. Like a lot of people, it's hard too in NXT. You're on a different pay scale than the main roster. Obviously, you're just in developmental. You're just working your way. So little ins and outs of like how to kind of not I don't want to say beat the system, but like be ahead of the game when you're
Yeah,
up there, right? So it's like
right.
just little things like that, and just trying to help them about even how they present themselves with higher ups when they get there. Like you don't have to go around kissing everyone's ass. You just have to know your role, always say hello to people, and like there's certain things, common courtesy and stuff like that. But sometimes people get wrapped up in like so many different cooks in the kitchen in
Mm.
NXT, because you do have a lot of coaches, you have a lot of producers, you have everyone in your ear about certain things. And also just like my biggest thing with them is like telling them like no matter what people say about your character, like your character best. Like take the advice. They've been doing this a long time, not discrediting them at all. They all know what they're doing, but like if you wouldn't say that word or you wouldn't say that sentence from that promo, ask to can I change this? Because I've done that a bunch of times. I mean, they'll write things for me sometimes where I'm like, not anymore, but a while ago, where I was like, I would never talk like that. Like it's not going to come out natural.
Yeah.
So those little things I feel like help and go a long way.
NXT's looked like quite a bit different over the last year or so. And that's from me on the
Right.
outside looking in. What have these transitions been like for you in there?
Yeah, I came back right before it went to NXT 2.0, and it was kind of good timing because it was like besides me, like they were really throwing a lot of new people out there that nobody's seen. There's a lot going on within the company, but um I've seen it all, and then now we're kind of shifting back. But I think it was just like a little rebranding, and it kind of worked with my character because that's kind of what I did and rebranded myself. So I feel like it was just like rebranding a little bit of NXT. And I don't know. I think both ways are cool. I haven't really like I don't love a certain way over the other. Like I think that's just kind of like how it is. Like even like Raw and SmackDown, like, there's always changes and there's always things happening and always evolving. And I think it's kind of cool because it keeps people on their toes and doesn't get like stagnant.
Yeah. And I think one of the reasons that NXT was really able to take off was Triple H had this vision for it. And I feel like Triple H is back now having vision for it again. And you can see that in the product every week.
Yeah, for sure. No, definitely. And he's always had like a great vision. I feel like he's always done a really good job with communicating with talent. I think that's really important. Hearing what they have to say, what they would want, or just being more hands on. And I think that's the biggest part of it. And I think you can see that with talent. When you see talent go from doing something maybe that wasn't their choice or maybe they didn't want to do, but then you see them back to their kind of like true colors, who they are. Like that was a collaboration with the both of them, I'm sure.
If you were to go back to when you were just starting in Tough Enough, knowing everything that you know now, what
Oh
would be the
God.
advice that you would give yourself?
Ugh. It's a good one. I think it would be, I was pretty good at this too. I wouldn't say that I was bad. A lot of people get caught up in this, but I think it's like just not caring or giving, you know, a shit about what other people thought in them. Like you're constantly trying to, and this is like in the beginning of like any probably job, right? Like you're always trying to like impress your boss, or you're trying to impress the higher up. You want to make more money. You want to like, so I just feel like, and obviously sports entertainment, we're on TV, we're in the spotlight. I feel like I see that a lot too. And it's like you're always trying to impress. But I feel like if you just be yourself more and not really care about what everyone has to say so much, like take like I tell the girls and the guys this all the time, like, don't sweat the small stuff. Like, I always tell the story about with Cora Jade when I first met her, because I first met her in the beginning when I went there, and it was, before she was really getting put on TV, but they obviously liked her and they wanted to get her out there, and she was like crying in the bathroom. And I went up to her and I obviously asked her what was wrong. And she said that, she's just been being told the same thing over and over again about her matches, that she's moving too fast or whatever it was. And I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm trying to improve, but I feel, and I just pulled her aside. I said, listen, I said, hate to break it to you. I said, but this is how it goes. You're probably never going to not move too fast. Like, you're going to get better, but like, this is just something that they're on with you right now. In a couple of weeks, that'll be something else or someone else. Just take it with a grain of salt. And that's the biggest thing Sonia and I always talk about too, because we came up together and we had each other's backs and we're obviously very close, but just not like sweating everything they say to you. We used to live together, and we used to come back from training and we would talk for hours about like, oh, I can't believe Coach so-and-so said that about me. Like, well, and it's like, who cares? Like, that's their job, like, so that's my biggest like take home with a lot of the girls and guys. And the biggest thing I would say if I went back, like, and I was pretty good. I wasn't as bad as a lot of people, but knowing what I know now, I would have probably been better.
What I think is tough about Tough Enough is you have to balance like being a wrestling character and also being a reality TV character at the same time. And they're very different.
For sure. They are. And me not knowing like wrestling, but not also, it was my first reality show. But like in the beginning when, I was being nice to everyone because that's the type of person I am. But then like, people pulling me aside, like Lita and Chris Jericho, and telling me like, listen, like, you're in a reality show. Like, you could probably play a good bitch. You should probably do that. Like, and I'm like, oh, really? But like, at that time, I didn't, but then that's when I started to kind of show that I really started getting the notoriety and the, people were start talking about me. And then like, I think honestly, my performance there, even though it was a little outlandish and crazy at times, like my dad used to hate watching because he's like, that's my baby girl.
Oh no.
But I think, he hated it. I was a bitch. Like, I was mean. But he even
said
like, thank you. But I think like that's what kind of got me to where I am today, in the sense of like getting me on Total Divas right away. Like, they just thought it would be a good, good story. And I played a good bitch. So.
Do you think you have any more reality television programs in your future?
Oh yeah. I mean, I reality TV is fun. It's a little crazy. It's hard. Now that I've been on like 2, you really get the hang of it. Like, you really know that it's not that real like everyone thinks, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And I definitely think I would love to be in another one.
Now that Triple H is bringing back a lot of people, what do you think the odds are that we'd see Tino Sabbatelli back in the ring?
I mean, I don't know. I would love that. I mean, I think there's so much, obviously we all know so much missed opportunity and so much potential that we could see. And
guy looks like $1 million. I don't get it.
I know. I don't get it either. Not a lot of people get it, but you know how it is. This business is hard to get. But I mean, I think it would be awesome. I would love it. I don't know. You never know, right?
He told me he was taking all of the focus that he had from the NFL, and then he put all of that into wrestling. And I'm like, well, now, like, what are you going to do now? Like, where does that drive and that focus go? And he told me at the time it was into golf. So how's his golf game looking?
Oh my gosh. He golfs so much that I joke around with him. I'm like, you're trying to be you're going to be in the PGA Tour. And he's like, really? He's like, you know how good I have to be in the PGA Tour? And I was like, well, you're golf, because he's obviously a very, elite athlete, and everything he picks up. Speak of the devil, he just walked in. We're talking about you. Come say hi. Oh. Come say hi.
Here?
Okay.
If you say his name loud enough, he shows up.
Oh, that's right, because I have headphones on. He can't hear you.
I can kind of hear him.
Oh, you can? Okay. Well, he's shirtless, and
he should absolutely make a cameo if he's shirtless.
Then make a cameo if you're shirtless. Come say hi.
I don't think we're.
You don't
we
care, yeah.
haven't paid enough money apparently. Oh, look at
Yeah, right.
Look at this
yeah.
man. He's an Adonis.
Just yeah.
I'm about to go in the hot tub.
What's? Look at this.
About to
You're
go-
an
I'm
Adonis.
about to
Look
go
at
in the
this
hot
guy.
tub.
Here?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
How's
Mandy
the
was
cold
just
plunge
talking
treating
about
you?
how good your golf game is.
It's not that good, but I'm trying.
It's good to see you, man.
You too, man. I always follow you, man. Did you ever get a hold of Rashad?
Yes, we are making that happen.
Good,
So thank you.
Good.
We're
I'm
making that
actually going.
happen,
I'm going
next
on his
month.
podcast. I'm going on his podcast on Monday, actually.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's
So-
because of you that I own a
Yes,
cold
that
plunge now.
I know. I saw how you love it. I'm going in mine right now. That's why I got my swim trunks on. I am.
Is it hot then cold? This is how it works for you?
Actually, I am doing contrast right now. I got the hot tub at 104. I got the cold plunge at 44. So
Wow. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
I love that you're not even
Little bit.
flexing and you have abs. This is crazy.
To me, that's what I mean. He asked before who's objectively more fit. I said definitely you.
No. Great to see you, man. I'm glad
Good
you're
to
doing
see
well,
you.
man.
What a lovely cameo this was.
Oh,
All right, bro, we'll catch up soon.
Your cold tub. Yeah. Sorry.
He is obscenely fit.
He is obscenely fit. Yeah, he is.
Well,
He's-
and I mean, you are too.
that's what I mean. Well, I'm fit, but like he's got like a 6-pack and like all every day. I'm like, I don't understand. How do you have that?
I'm the same age as him, and I go, this is so inspiring that if I just work hard enough, I could look like that.
Oh gosh.
So this is just
Too funny.
nonstop every day. It's just him walking around
Yeah.
shirtless.
Yeah, pretty much. It's funny because I think we have the gym out now in the garage, and like, sometimes he works out with the tights on and no shorts. I'm like, you can't be doing that. I'm like, got neighbors over here. They're starting to look. That one girl keeps coming by. He goes, these are the tights like you guys wear at the gym. The girls can do it. Why can't we? I'm like,
Well,
might be a little different.
just a little bit. Like you said, he's an elite athlete. He's had this drive, this amazing focus, his whole career, whatever he's put himself into. Where does this focus go now?
Golf, like you said, you're right.
Like
It's golf.
Is he going to be a pro golfer? Is he going to try?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, he is pretty good. I mean, from my knowledge, but he laughs at me. But no, I think because he always says that golf is like his, and it is. I've played before. It's very therapeutic, and I think it keeps him busy. And he does a lot of other things, obviously, investments and stuff. And he works throughout the day. But it's like that's like his. I don't know, his safe zone. He likes to play with the guys. They all bet too. Like I'm like, I can't with you guys. I mean, between the betting and like, I don't think he plays for fun. Like he plays for fun, but they're like constantly betting, these guys. I'm like, you guys are crazy.
Do you ever think about life after wrestling for you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I always do. I mean, I'm 32. Right. And I'm 32. I'm not like young. I mean, I'm young, but you know how it is. I want to have kids one day. So it's not like I'm going to do this for, and I would love to do it for however long I can do it, even after kids, maybe. But I do try to think about that. And I do try to set myself up. And that's why I have, we have our Mandy's Donuts brand. I have my Rose skincare line. And I'm just really trying to focus on those kind of brands where I can work from home. I can, if I do, want to have kids one day and have that family life, I want to make it easy for me. And I want to be able to do the things I love, but also, still be able to be a mom at the same time.
Think of how beautiful your kids would be, you and Sabby. This isn't even fair.
We joke around because my brother and his wife, it's like his wife's sister is my best friend. So we're all really close. And she's actually, my best friend is like going into labor today, actually, which is crazy. But
wow.
Her sister is married to my brother and they have the cutest kids. Like when I tell you, like, I'm like, and they're good looking people, obviously, but I'm like, you guys, so like we joke around. We're like, how our kids aren't going to be as good looking as your kids. So it's like it sounds so shallow. It's not really like that as long as they're healthy, but they literally have the cutest kids. So we always joke. I'm like, I hope our kids are cute.
I mean, I think they've got the genetics. I think your kids are going to come out with an 8-pack.
8-pack. Yeah. I hope so. No.
How much did the storyline with Otis really like take you and the visibility of Mandy Rose to the next level?
That was such a fun, like loving, entertaining story. And I think of the timing of it, like was, right, during the pandemic too. So I feel like there's so many, so much negativity going around and just like, people cooped up in their homes. And I felt like it was such a good story to just kind of like, I don't know, it was just pure entertainment and it was fun. But for me, it was just, for me, it was, hold on, am I back? Okay. I just had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun working with him. He's obviously a character in and out, in and out of the ring. And it was really cool to be able to have that kind of storyline where it was like, we barely wrestled. It was more just like that was an entertaining, like when they talk about sports entertainment, like that was pure entertainment, I feel like. But it was fun. I had a lot of fun.
I loved the whole story that you pitched this and they were like, yeah, let's run with this.
Right. Yeah. And between like, I love how many people were involved too. It's like we had, Dolph, Sonia, Otis, like there were so many things involved and, it might not have been the best ending we would have liked, but you never know what's going to happen. So
with you now holding the championship for over a year, incredible. Who's the GOAT women's wrestler of all time for you?
For me, I mean, I've always been inspired by Trish Stratus, and I always talk about that. But I just think she's amazing. I just think she was so inspiring, especially during a time where it was way different, before all the women's revolution and everything. But I just think I don't know, I just always inspired to be like her in wrestling. She's such a nice person when you see her, outside of wrestling and all that as a person herself. But I mean, I would say her. I would also maybe say Charlotte Flair, I think is obviously, she's the most athletic and like her presence alone in a ring. Like, I mean, I don't really think there's anyone like her as far as, but yeah, I mean, those are like probably my top two.
I mean, those are two
present and past. Yeah.
Also, Trish Stratus is aging backwards somehow.
I know, she really is. I'm like, God damn, she looks so good.
I think that your story as a whole is so fascinating because, you didn't set out to be a wrestler. Tough Enough happened. You don't win Tough Enough, but you still get a contract, which is amazing. And then you make something of that. And not everybody does. So if we take it back before that, what did you think you were going to be? What did you want to do for a living? Well,
I was studying at Iona College. I got my bachelor's for speech language pathology. So I was doing early childhood education, but then I went to that because my cousin was doing it. And she's like, it's a little bit more money and it's a wider range of opportunities. You can, do home care and adult care. And there's all these different things. And I actually really found like, I really loved that because I became very passionate for helping people. I had like an adult client that had aphasia. She had like a stroke. So I really got close with her because I was doing, in college when I needed like the hours to get my bachelor's degree. So I was doing that, but I was also just like hustling. I had like 3 jobs. I was working at my dad's deli, working at my ex's restaurant, and then like babysitting. Like I've always just been a hustler and kind of, I didn't know exactly where I would end up or what I really wanted to do, but I knew I've always knew I was a hard worker, and I knew that with hard work and finding my way and kind of like figuring it out, eventually I'd find something that I really loved. But yeah, and then the fitness world, bodybuilding and fitness came about while I was trying to get my master's degree. So that I really fell in love with, and I really became like the most confident I ever was, like with my body and everything, because I was always kind of fit and athletic, but I was always a little bit like more like, my nickname was Hamburgers growing up with my brothers, which I never even was that big or anything, but I had a little bit of a complex because I grew up with 3 older brothers and they were just like ruthless at times. And I was like a little like chubby baby, but I wasn't like chubby growing up. I just had like little, little chubbiness at this stage, and I loved hamburgers. So when I started, training and becoming, obviously a fitness model and stuff, I really got so comfortable, and I always had like bigger legs, and I really, turned all that like fat like into muscle. And I loved my legs after that. And I never was truly that confident until I became, involved in fitness. And that's when it kind of, that's kind of when it all like started for me, I would say.
What does training look like for you now?
Now believe it or not, I do a lot of cardio, and not so much because I'm trying to like lose weight or anything. It's more just like for my mind, like mentally, I do like it's crazy. I do the Peloton for like 45 minutes, like so easy. And I feel like I hated doing cardio for like longer than 20 minutes. But I
Is it
just love
because
it.
Peloton's competitive? You can see how much you're beating everybody
Yeah,
else.
I think so. And it's motivating for me. It's like
Yeah.
something about it. Like I'll get on there and like, I guess maybe I'm trapped in with the shoes. I don't know what it is, but like, and I'll just be like in the zone. And now I do that a lot. I still do my like heavy lifts here and there, but I don't do like PR stuff. I don't get crazy with lifting extremely heavy, obviously, because we're wrestling a lot and I got to be careful. I'm, not like I've been heavy lifting for like, I don't know, 15 years almost. So
Yeah.
it's like it's definitely more like sports performance and cardio and like high intensity interval training. It's what I do now.
45 minutes in the Peloton flies by. 45 minutes riding a bike at the gym is like the slowest 45 minutes ever.
You're right. And I think that's what it is. Like any other cardio, doing it for 45 minutes, I'm like it's forever. But for some reason on the Peloton, I just like breeze through it.
Those
Crazy.
instructors are so good.
They are, yeah.
And you can also leave there being like, I beat 4,000 other people in this class or whatever, however many other people are in the class.
Yeah, right.
So like, what do you like when you look forward? What excites you now? I feel like you've done so much. I don't know what's left in WWE for you.
So I think about this a lot because, I'm at a point now where it's like, okay, who else can I beat in NXT? I totally don't mind, remaining the champ for a long time, but, I think it's time. I think I want Gigi and JC to be able to experience the main roster. I think being up on Raw or SmackDown, I really want to get back up there because I'm a whole different person now. I feel like whether or not like from the outside looking in, it looks like that, but like, I just feel I'm just so much more respected now. And I think that's what has a lot to do with it. Like I'm not that I was scared to like say anything, but I just feel like I've earned the respect over the last, 386 days, whatever it's been, even longer, even before I won the title, but I've earned that respect. I've like, I don't know. I just feel like I know I belong. So I think I have another good run on Raw or SmackDown that I want to prove to people, and I've already proven, but I want to be able to showcase myself with my girls, Toxic Attraction. I think that's going to be really cool. We've shown, so much over the last year, and we like run NXT, and I think it's time. But other than that, it's that, and then I eventually I want to have kids. I do down the road. Not yet.
Incredible genetic kids that you're going to have.
Hopefully.
What do you think's been the biggest stumble in this journey? And it doesn't even need to be, during your time in WWE, it could be before then, but what do you think's been the biggest hurdle that you've had to overcome? And how did you overcome it?
I guess maybe like traveling so much and also like being away from your family. Like I'm very family oriented, and like, I not that I want to go back to New York and live there because I love New York, but I don't really want to live there, to be honest. Between the weather and everything else. Yeah, exactly. Like we got snow the other night. I'm like, but I do miss
like
my family.
I'm from Canada, so I get it.
Oh yeah, So I do love being around my family. I miss them. I have so many nieces and nephews. That would be the biggest hurdle for me, I think, is just being away from them. And like holidays were tough, especially in the beginning. Like I'll never forget our first year on the main roster. Daria and I were Christmas Day. We had to fly or we flew Christmas Eve. No, I think we flew Christmas morning. They let us fly to Chicago, and the two of us. It was Christmas morning, and we land and we go get like Denny's before we go to the show. And we're like sitting at Denny's, and we're like, wow, this is our life. Like, cause we're both, we didn't wrestle before this. We didn't like, do that. We took a different route. We had a different grind, the both of us. But we were like, wow, this is our life. Like Christmas morning, we're at Denny's, and like, that's what it is. Like you sacrifice, right? And I feel like a lot of people don't realize the sacrifices that we do, especially in WWE, because we work 365 days, you know, or 360, whatever you want to say, and barely have any time off. You know, you're live every week. So I think the biggest hurdle, and now you get used to it, would be just the crazy schedule and just being away from your family.
Yeah. Ooh, but what do you order at Denny's?
Oh gosh. So I'm not even a huge Denny's person, to be honest, but it was so random.
But I also
that
get with WWE superstars, there's not a lot of other restaurants open when you guys get off.
No, it's true. Yeah, we always have to like go to random spots. But I think I used to get just like eggs. I feel like basic, you know, nothing crazy.
Their hash browns are so good there.
Yeah, their hash browns are good.
Yeah, that's probably because they're cooked.
You got to make it work, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, look, Mandy, we love watching you on NXT. We love, you know, you're just running things there, and it's been so amazing to see.
Thank you.
And I end every
Thank you.
conversation with the same question, because gratitude's such an important thing in my life. I wake up, I say out loud 3 things I'm grateful for, and I do the same thing before I go to bed. What are 3 things in your life that you're grateful for right now?
I love that you do that. That's amazing. I do that as well. I would
So what
say
were the 3 things today?
Oh, today?
Sure.
Actually, let me think. No. Obviously Sabby, my fiance, and he's taught me a lot about that, because he's very big on, you know, being grateful. And we always like randomly will be like, wow, we love our life together. We're so grateful, whatever. So he's definitely number 1 right now. My health would be number 2. I'm very grateful for my health. And number 3 would be, besides him, I would say my family. You know, I'm like I said before, I'm super close with my family. Unfortunately, I don't know if you know, but my brother passed away like a month ago. So that was obviously, no, thank you. It was very, very, you know, he's battled addiction for a while, but I got really close with him. So that was definitely really a struggle, but keeping our family nice and close so that we all have each other is my biggest thing.
Yeah, I love that. 3 great things. So
yeah.
So good to see you again. Thank you so much.
Good to see you. Thank you so much
wait,
for having me.
Can't wait to talk to you when you've been the champion for 800 days or whatever.
I know, right?
Thanks again.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.